You're looking to grow your business smarter, not harder, right?
Yeah.
You want to cut through the noise, pinpoint exactly what works for real growth without getting totally buried in data.
Yeah, exactly.
Think of this as your express lane, this deep dive. It's laser focused on the key stuff for business growth.
We're diving into four pivotal key performance indicators, KPIs. They're like the vital signs for your business, really.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, they give you a clear, quick read on what's working and maybe more importantly, what needs your attention.
Exactly. We've got a pretty straightforward guide here. It's all about mastering these basic business numbers. Our mission today, give you a real practical handle on these KPIs.
So you can start using them like right away to steer things.
Right, to steer your business towards success. And the message in the material we looked at is super clear. Data-driven decisions are key for growth. No more guesswork.
And you know what's really cool? How these numbers, which seem kind of simple on the surface, can unlock such deep insights. It's about moving from just gut feelings to, well, actual evidence. That's where the real aha moments happen, I think.
Couldn't agree more. So what are these magic 4 KPIs we're going to unpack today?
Okay, number 1, cost per lead, or CPL.
CPL, got it.
Then your lead to appointment booking rate.
Okay.
Third, your sales conversion rate.
Right.
And finally, number 4 is your average price or average deal value.
Okay, CPL, booking rate, conversion rate, deal value. So these 4 basically give you the full picture, right? From getting interest to making the sale.
Exactly. The whole customer acquisition funnel, start to finish.
All right, let's dive in then. First step, cost per lead, CPL. What exactly is a lead here?
Right, good question. So a lead is basically any potential customer who's shown some interest. You know, maybe they gave you their contact info, downloaded something.
So a prospect, someone who might buy.
Precisely. And you might hear different terms too, like MQL, marketing qualified lead, that's usually earlier interest. And SQL sales qualified lead, they're generally seen as more ready for a sales chat.
Okay, MQLs, sequels. Got
Yeah.
it. So cost per lead, CPL, what does that tell us?
It really boils down to how efficient your marketing is at generating these leads. It's the average dollar amount you spend to get one single new lead.
Okay. And why is tracking this number so important?
Oh, it's fundamental. First off, budget allocation. You need to know which channels are actually giving you leads cost effectively.
Right. Put your money where it works.
Exactly. You want the most bang for your marketing buck.
It's like knowing which fishing spots are best. And it's also a direct measure of a campaign's health, right? Like if CPL is high.
Yeah, totally. A high CPL can be a red flag. Maybe your targeting is off, or the ad creative isn't landing page issues. Even the channel itself might be wrong for you.
Lots of potential culprits.
For sure. And if you zoom out, CPL feeds into your overall profitability picture. It's part of your customer acquisition cost, your CAC.
CAC.
If your CPL is too high compared to what a customer eventually spends, well, that's not sustainable long term. CPL is really that early warning system, a pulse check on your marketing's financial health.
Okay, super important then. How do we actually calculate it? What's the math?
It's actually pretty simple. You take the total cost of your marketing campaign.
Everything, like ad spend, content costs.
Yep, ad spend, content creation, maybe software tools you use just for that campaign, even potentially some staff time if it's relevant. Add all that up.
Okay.
Then divide that total cost by the total number of new, unique leads you got directly from that campaign during the same time period.
Got it. So campaign cost divided by new leads from that campaign. Example.
Sure. Let's say you spent $2,000 on a LinkedIn ad campaign last month.
Oh.
And that campaign brought in 100 new, unique leads. Your CPL is $2,000 divided by 100.
So $20 per lead.
Exactly. $20 CPL.
Okay, so is $20 good, bad? What should people aim for?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There's no single good CPL number. It's really relative.
Depends on the business.
Totally. Your industry, who you're targeting, your product's price point, even the quality of the leads you're getting. Like a $75 CPL could be amazing for expensive enterprise software.
But terrible for, like, cheap T-shirts online.
Exactly. Way too high in that case.
So how do I know what's good for me? Any rules of thumb?
Definitely things to consider. First, look at your own history. Is your CPL going up or down over time? That tells you something right there.
Okay, track my own trends.
Yes. You can also look up industry benchmarks, but take those with a grain of salt. They're just averages. More importantly, think about your customer lifetime value CLTV.
How much a customer is worth over time.
Right. And your overall customer acquisition cost. Ideally, your CPL should be just a small piece of what a customer brings in initially, so you have room for profit.
So lower is generally better if
the lead quality stays high. That's the crucial caveat.
Okay. So getting loads of cheap leads that don't go anywhere is actually bad.
Oh, precisely. A super low CPL, but with leads that never, ever convert. That's just wasted money and effort. You have to look at CPL alongside those later metrics we're talking about.
Like the booking rate and conversion rate.
Exactly. And here's a key tip. Break down your CPL. Don't just look at the overall average.
Meaning?
Look at CPL per marketing channel, per specific campaign. Get granular.
Why is that so important?
Because your average might look okay, maybe $30 CPL overall, but when you dig in, you might find Google Ads is giving you leads for $15, while, I don't know, another platform is costing you $70 per lead.
Wow. Okay, that changes where you put your budget.
Exactly. It lets you make smart data-backed decisions, shift budget to what works, maybe cut back or fix what doesn't, maximize that efficiency.
Okay, that makes total sense. So we've got leads, we know the cost. What's next? Getting them to actually talk to us.
Yep, that leads us right into KPI number 2, lead to appointment booking rate.
Lead to appointment booking rate. Okay, what's that measuring?
It's the percentage of those leads who actually take the next step and schedule something. An appointment, a consultation, a demo, whatever that next meeting is for your business.
So it connects the marketing interest to actual sales engagement.
Exactly. It's the bridge. You might also hear it called lead to appointment conversion rate or lead to consult rate. Same idea.
Why track this specific rate? What does it tell us?
It's a huge indicator of how well you're nurturing those leads, guiding them down the path. A low rate. That screams disconnect between marketing and sales.
How so?
Well, maybe marketing's generating leads, but sales isn't following up fast enough or effectively enough. Or maybe what marketing calls a lead isn't what sales thinks is a good prospect.
The classic marketing versus sales alignment issue.
Exactly. Think of it like a relay race. Marketing hands off the baton with the lead. This KPI tells you how often the sales runner actually grabs it and keeps running.
Okay, it measures the handoff.
Yeah.
What else?
It reflects how good your lead nurturing and follow-up are. Are you engaging them well? Persuading them? And indirectly, it hints at lead quality too. If follow-up is great, but bookings are low, maybe the leads weren't that good to begin with.
Interesting. And outreach effectiveness too.
Yeah. Is your messaging hitting home? Are you qualifying them properly for that next step?
So if my CPL looks good, leads are cheap, but this booking rate is tanking. That means there's a bottleneck.
Precisely. You're getting them in the door efficiently, cost-wise, but something's stopping them from walking into the next room, so to speak.
Could be qualification, or the appointment offer itself, or just slow follow-up.
Could be any of those. Or maybe the perceived value of the appointment isn't clear. Lots of potential reasons for that bottleneck.
Okay, how do we calculate this one? The formula.
It's number of appointments booked divided by the total number of leads generated. Do that for the same time period, then multiply by 100 to get the percentage.
Seems straightforward. Number of appointments divided by number of leads times 100. Example.
Let's say you got 200 new leads last month.
Okay.
And out of those 200, your team booked 50 actual appointments.
Right.
So 50 divided by 200 is 0.25. Multiply by 100, that's a 25% lead to appointment booking rate.
25%. What makes that number go up or down? What influences it?
Several things. Huge one. Lead response time. Speed matters. A lot. Following up within, say, an hour versus a day makes a massive difference.
Customers better. Much better.
Definitely. Lead quality, of course. Better fit leads are more likely to book. Your outreach effectiveness, the message, the channel, personalization, persistence, all that matters.
And the booking process itself.
Absolutely. Don't overlook that. Is it easy to book?
Yeah.
Or a total pain? Simple online booking tools, text booking options, those can make a huge difference. Friction kills conversions.
Makes sense. Remove the friction.
And finally, the value prop of the appointment. Is it clear why they should book? What's in it for them?
So it's not just getting the lead, it's the whole process of guiding them smoothly to that meeting.
Exactly. Operational efficiency in follow-up and booking is just as crucial as the initial lead quality. Slow follow-up, clunky booking, you'll lose good leads.
And you mentioned this devalues the initial marketing investment.
Hugely. Think about that $20 CPL example. 100 leads for $2,000.
Yeah.
If only 10 of those leads actually book an appointment, now your cost per appointment setting lead just jumped from $20 to $200.
Wow. Okay, that really puts it in perspective. A bottleneck there makes everything else way more expensive.
Totally changes the economics, makes you question if the whole funnel is even viable.
Right. Okay, so we've got appointments booked. Now the moment of truth. Are they actually turning into sales? Which brings us to KPI number 3, sales conversion rate.
Precisely. Sales conversion rate, or SCR. This measures the percentage of, well, it could be leads or opportunities, but in our flow, let's focus on the percentage of appointments that result in a closed sale, over a specific time, of course.
Okay, so how many appointments become customers? This seems really core to the sales team's job.
It is. It's a direct measure of sales effectiveness. How good are they at actually closing deals, turning those conversations into revenue?
Why is tracking it so vital? What does it reveal?
Well, it directly shows how efficient your sales process is and highlights the skills of your team. A low SCR. That could point to weaknesses.
Like what?
Maybe sales training needs improvement, proposals aren't strong enough, pricing is off, maybe even a product market fit issue, or poor objection handling. Lots of possibilities.
So it helps diagnose problems in the sales cycle.
Exactly. And obviously, a higher SCR means more revenue from the same number of appointments. Big impact on profitability.
And like the others, this isn't just about the sales team, is it? It can point upstream too.
Absolutely. While it measures sales closing ability, a low SCR could totally be a symptom of bad leads coming from marketing.
Back to lead quality again.
Yep. Or maybe the product itself isn't right, or the pricing's wrong for the people they're talking to. You need that holistic view. It's not always just sales tactics.
Okay, so how do we calculate SCR? The formula.
Okay, sticking with appointments as our starting point. It's the number of sales closed divided by the number of appointments conducted. Again, same time period, multiply by 100 for the percentage.
Sales divided by appointments times 100. Got it.
Now, just a side note, you could calculate it based on total leads. Sales divided by total leads. That gives you a different view, like overall funnel efficiency.
Right, lead to sale rate.
Yeah, but sales divided by appointments really focuses on that closing effectiveness after you've got them engaged in a meeting. Helps pinpoint where the issue is.
That makes sense. Let's stick with appointments for now. Example.
Sure. Say your team had 40 appointments last month.
Okay.
And out of those 40, they closed 8 deals.
Right.
Your SCR is 8 divided by 40, which is 0.20 times 100. That's a 20% sales conversion rate.
Okay, 20%. What are the big levers here? What makes SCR go up or down?
Sales skills are huge. Rapport building, understanding needs, presenting solutions well, handling objections, closing techniques, all that training matters.
Makes sense.
Lead quality, again, easier to convert good leads. The value and pricing of your product or service, is it competitive? Is the value clear?
Right.
How efficient is your sales process itself? Is it well-defined, consistent? And a really big one, are you talking to the right people? Your ideal customer profile, or ICP.
ICP alignment. How much does that impact SCR?
Massively. If you really know your ICP and you're consistently getting appointments with people who fit that profile, people who actually need what you sell, your conversion rates will naturally be higher.
And if you're talking to the wrong people?
Then it doesn't matter how good your salespeople are, you're fighting an uphill battle. Low conversion rates are almost guaranteed. Refining that ICP and making sure marketing and qualification are aligned is key to feeding sales truly convertible prospects.
That's a powerful connection. Okay, great. We made a sale. Now, how much is that sale actually worth? That brings us to KPI number 4, average price or deal value.
Exactly. Average price, average deal value, sometimes average deal size, ADS, or in e-commerce, average order value, AOV. Lots of names, same idea.
Okay, what is it exactly?
It's simply the average monetary value of one single closed sale measured over a specific time period. Basically, how much revenue does each sale typically bring in?
And why track this average amount? How does it help with growth?
Oh, it's super important. First, revenue forecasting and setting sales targets. You need to know your average deal value to predict revenue accurately.
Makes sense. Can't predict revenue without knowing what a sale is worth.
Right. It also gives you insight into the initial value of a customer, which feeds into that CLTV calculation we mentioned. And it really informs strategy. Like if your ADV is low, maybe you focus on upselling or cross-selling or target higher value customers.
Right.
And when you look at it alongside your customer acquisition costs, your CAC, it tells you about the profitability of each transaction.
And this is another way to grow revenue without just getting more customers, right?
Absolutely. Increasing your average deal value is often a really efficient growth lever. Think about it. 200 sales at $200 ADV is $40,000 revenue. But if you can bump that ADV up to $250, same 200 sales now bring in $50,000. That's an extra 10K without needing more leads or a better conversion rate. Powerful stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So how do we calculate it?
Pretty simple again. Total revenue from all your new sales in a period.
Okay, total new revenue.
Divided by the number of new sales or deals closed in that same period.
Total revenue divided by number of deals.
Got it.
Example.
Let's say last month, your total revenue from new sales was $75,000.
Nice month.
Yeah. And you closed 150 individual deals to get that revenue.
Okay.
So $75,000 divided by 150 deals equals $500 average deal value.
$500 ADV.
Okay.
So if a business wants to increase that number, what kind of strategies work?
Several good ones. Upselling is classic, getting customers to buy the higher end version or add premium features.
Okay.
Cross-selling, offering complementary products or services. Like, you bought this, you might also need that.
Right. Fries with that burger.
Exactly. Bundling works too, packaging multiple items together, maybe for a slight discount overall, but a higher total price.
Makes sense.
Don't forget pricing itself. Maybe strategic price increases are justified based on value or market changes. And finally, consciously targeting higher value customer segments from the start.
And just like CPL affects what we can spend, ADV influences that too, right?
Totally connected. A higher ADV means you can potentially afford a higher CPL and CAC and still be very profitable.
Can you give an example of that?
Sure. If your ADV is only, say, $75, then spending $50 on CPL might be really tight, maybe even losing money initially.
Yeah, not much room there.
But if your ADV is $500, suddenly a $100 or $150 CPL might be perfectly fine, leaving plenty of margin. It changes the whole viability equation for your marketing spend.
Really highlights how interconnected these 4 KPIs are. And you mentioned watching ADV trends. What can that tell us?
Yeah, if your ADV starts dropping, maybe it signals more price competition, or you're attracting lower value clients, or maybe the sales team is discounting too much. Conversely, if it's increasing, maybe your premium offers are working. Or sales is getting better at value selling. It's another pulse check, but more on market dynamics and internal strategy effectiveness.
Okay, awesome. We've covered the 4 core KPIs: CPL, booking rate, conversion rate, average deal value. We know what they are, why they matter, how to calculate them. So for someone listening now thinking, okay, I need to do this, how do they actually start, practically speaking?
Right, the action part. And the good news is you don't need fancy, expensive software right out of the gate.
No. What then?
Honestly, for most businesses starting out with this, the best tool is probably something you already have. A simple spreadsheet.
Good old spreadsheets, like Excel or Google Sheets.
Exactly. Why? Well, first, accessibility. Almost everyone has access.
Sure.
Second, cost. It's usually free or part of what you already pay for. Third, customizability. You can set it up exactly how you need it.
Tailored to your business.
Yep. And maybe most importantly, doing it manually first in a spreadsheet really helps you understand the numbers, where they come from, how they connect. It builds that foundational knowledge before you maybe think about automating later.
That's a good point. Demystifies it a bit.
Yeah, and it's a totally valid approach. You can find tons of resources online about building KPI dashboards in Excel or templates specifically for marketing and sales KPIs.
Okay, so walk us through setting up a basic tracking spreadsheet. Step by step. What's step 1?
Step 1, just list out the KPIs you want to track. For today, that's our core 4: CPL, lead to appointment rate, sales conversion rate, average deal value. Write them down.
Okay, list the KPIs. Step 2.
Figure out the raw data you need for each of those. We talked about this. For CPL, you need total marketing spend and total new leads. For the booking rate, you need leads generated and appointments booked, and so on.
Right. Identify the ingredients for each formula.
Exactly. This means figuring out where that data lives, your ad platforms, your CRM, sales logs, and how you're going to pull it consistently.
Okay, data sources identified. Step 3.
Design the spreadsheet structure. Decide on your time period monthly is usually a good starting point for these. Then make columns.
Columns for what?
First, columns for your raw data inputs like month, total marketing spend, leads generated, appointments booked, sales closed, total revenue.
All the numbers you need to collect.
Right. Then separate columns where the actual KPI calculations will happen. So a column for CPL, one for lead to app rate %, etc.
Okay. Raw data columns, then calculated KPI columns. Makes sense. Next step, inputting data.
Step 4, exactly. Get your data in there. If you have historical data, great. Put it in to see past performance. If not, just start tracking meticulously from now on.
And accuracy is key here.
Absolutely critical. Data hygiene is paramount. Be consistent with formats like dates, currency, decide how to handle missing data, double-check your entries. Because,
Garbage in, garbage out.
precisely, flawed data means flawed KPIs, which means bad decisions.
Got it. Be clean and consistent. Okay, data's in. Step 5.
Implement the formulas. Use the spreadsheet's functions to do the math for you. In the CPL column, the formula will just be marketing spend cell leads generated cell. Set it up so it calculates automatically when you put in the raw numbers.
Let the spreadsheet do the work. Love it. And the last step, step 6.
Step 6 is the ongoing part. Review and analyze. This isn't a set it and forget it thing. You need to regularly update the data weekly, monthly, whatever makes sense.
Oh.
Then look at the numbers. How are the KPIs trending? Up, down, stable, compared to last month, last quarter. Spot any big changes or weird results. And most importantly, use these insights to make decisions. What needs to change? What's working well?
So the spreadsheet becomes a living tool for understanding and action. And you mentioned designing it to answer specific questions.
Yeah, think about what you want to learn. Maybe add columns for month-over-month percentage change for each KPI. That gives you instant trend visibility.
Well, that's smart. See the momentum.
Exactly. And just to hammer it home, consistency is king. Use the same definitions and data collection methods every single time. If you change how you define a lead halfway through, your trend analysis becomes meaningless. Clear, consistent definitions from day one are crucial.
Okay, this is super practical, really helpful. So for someone listening, totally ready to roll up their sleeves, what are those very first concrete steps to get started?
Okay, 5 key initial steps. Step 1, before you even touch that spreadsheet, define your main business goals.
Goals first. Why?
Because your KPIs need to connect to something bigger. What are you actually trying to achieve? More revenue, better profitability, market share. Articulate, say, your top 1-3 primary goals for the next 6-12 months, like increase revenue by 25%.
Okay, link KPIs to actual business objectives. Makes sense.
As the sources say, KPIs need to tie into strategy, otherwise you're just tracking numbers for tracking's sake. This forces you to get concrete about what you want.
Got it. Goals defined. Step 2.
Align these 4 core KPIs with those goals. For each goal, think, which of these KPIs are the most critical levers?
How does that look?
Example, goal is 20% recurring revenue growth. Okay, then improving sales conversion rate and average deal value are direct drivers. Improving CPL and booking rate feeds the pipeline for those. So for each goal, note down the key KPIs that influence it.
Okay, connect the specific KPIs to the big goals. Step 3.
Establish your baseline. You need to know where you're starting from.
Know your current numbers.
Exactly. Use that spreadsheet, pull whatever historical data you can find, maybe for the last 1-3 months, and calculate your starting point for each of the 4 KPIs. No history, no problem.
Yeah.
Just commit to tracking meticulously now so you can set that baseline next month. You can't measure progress without a starting line.
Right. Baseline established. Step 4.
Set initial targets and use the SMART framework here. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound.
SMART goals for KPIs.
Yep. For each of the 4 KPIs, set a SMART target for the next period, like the next quarter. Don't just say improve CPL. Say reduce CPL from $25 baseline to $22 by the end of Q2 by optimizing Google ad spend based on performance data.
Much more concrete and actionable.
Exactly. It turns tracking into active management. It gives you clarity, a deadline, and implies the actions needed.
Love the SMART approach.
Yeah.
Okay, final initial step. Step 5.
Schedule regular review and action. This needs to become a habit. Block time in your calendar, maybe weekly for a quick look, monthly for a deeper dive.
What happens in that review time?
Update the data, check performance against your SMART targets, analyze trends and why things happen, and most importantly, decide on specific actions based on what you're seeing. Assign tasks if needed.
So it's not just reporting, it's deciding what to do next.
Precisely. It creates that essential feedback loop. Measure, analyze, act, refine. You might even need to adjust your KPIs or targets as things change. It's iterative.
Continuous improvement cycle.
That's the goal. That's how you drive real sustainable growth using these metrics.
Okay, so just to wrap things up, these 4 KPIs.
Right.
Cost per lead, lead to appointment booking rate, sales conversion rate, and average deal value. They really give you this incredibly powerful kind of 360-degree view of your customer acquisition funnel.
Yeah, and the overall health and growth potential of the business.
Right.
They're not just numbers on a page. They're practical tools for understanding, for diagnosing problems, for making smarter decisions based on data.
So the big message is start tracking today.
Right.
Take these steps, set up that spreadsheet, get that initial data in, be consistent.
That first step is absolutely crucial. It's the start of making data-driven improvement a real thing in your business, not just a buzzword.
And once you start tracking consistently, you'll see those trends. You can actually celebrate wins with real numbers, and you'll know exactly where to focus when things maybe aren't going to plan.
And remember, the real value isn't just having the KPIs. It's in the actions and the improvements they inspire. That's where the magic happens.
It's a journey, right? Continuous learning, adapting.
Absolutely. And while these four are foundational, you might explore other metrics later on. But mastering these core four, that's the essential groundwork. You got to build on a solid foundation.
Definitely. So here's maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Just take a second and think. Which one of these four KPIs, if you could improve it even just a little bit right now, would likely have the biggest immediate impact on your specific business?
That's a good question to ponder.
Yeah, mull that over. Maybe that's your starting point.